Metroidvanias. Big, booming, and full of enough wrong turns to make the 2003 horror classic seem like a right turn. No, that joke's trash. Let's not put that in. But as many times as we've seen the Metroidvania get twisted and turned, burned and broken, there was always a tiny question in my brain. What would a Super Mario Metroidvania feel like? And more importantly, would it even be worth playing? Well, today we're gonna find out just that. This is Super Mario Expedition, a 2D Mariovania full of unique power-ups, different regions, boss fights, and is unironically one of the hardest games we have ever played on this channel. I know I say that a lot, but things have just been getting harder, you know? Our journey starts in the Mario Brothers house, where we kind of jump around and get a feel for our moveset. After playing around a bit, we begin our expedition by heading to the right, and we head into our first section of this absolutely massive map, the Wayward Woods. I figured that right now is the best time for me to explain some mechanics so that you don't get confused later in the run, so listen up. In this game, we have a health bar, so it's not played like a traditional Mario title. We also have an air meter, which makes you drown if it counts down and you're underwater. And lastly, a lot of our movement options function a lot differently than they normally do, including things like his momentum taking longer to build up. And of course, even if you can't swim, holding up while jumping underwater makes you jump way higher, even if you can't swim. Oh, I can't swim yet! I couldn't swim. If you're wondering why I drowned there, it's because I did not have the ability to swim. Just like real life. It's kind of funky, but I get it now. All right, sick. That poor turtle had nothing to do with anything. Though this feels kind of awful at first, it's pretty exciting thinking that power-ups will not only get us old abilities, but new ones that we've never seen before. We continue rightward and find a key, but sadly we realize we can't pick up the key because we don't have the ability to lift yet. With my dreams of becoming Mr. Olympia crushed, we go back to the beginning section and take a different path. This time we head to the top right, which is an area called the Mushroom Meadows. I haven't seen any star blocks either, so I hope dying here doesn't happen. We reach a Toad house and he gives us a quest to find a key so that he can reach his fridge, and then he gives us a mushroom so that we can lift the key when we find it. And with this, we've unlocked our first ability, lifting. Arnold would be proud. We head back into the forest section and grab the key to progress onward. We have a bit of tight platforming and accidental deaths here and there, but finally we reach our next section, the Sweet Swamp. This section, as you could expect, has a lot more water than any platforming game should ever have, ever. This section is also when I realized that this game isn't going to be a walk in the park. Oh god, I think I swung it at the wrong time. Oh wait, we're going around town. Yes! No! Dear God! Please! I'm gonna die! If you miss any jump, you die! A lot of the platforming here was actually pretty tight and difficult, but I'm a gamer after all, so we persevered and made our way through. And thus, we get to the entrance of our first dungeon, the Chomps Chasm, which I could only describe as an underwater maze with air pockets spread throughout so that you don't drown, annoying enemies scattered everywhere, and a charging Chuck. Buddy, I don't know if you could tell, but this is not a football field. We die a few times, but reach the end and get our next power-up, the Water Crystal, which not only enables our ability to swim, but also doubles the amount of oxygen we have when we're underwater. Obviously, this is kind of exciting when you first look at it, but when you're like me and you're able to stare directly into the matrix and count the ones and zeros, you very quickly realize that this means, you guessed it, more water levels. We climb back out of Chomps Chasm and try to head right, only to reach a wall with these weird pegs on it. I'm sure they're gonna be important later, but for now we reached a classic Metroidvania dead end and have to walk all the way back to whence we came. Let me out, let me out. Let me out, please! I jumped off the curve! Ah! There isn't really an option for fast travel in this game either, so I hope you enjoy scenic walks. For the next 30 minutes, we flounder around and look for a section we can progress in with our newfound ability. There's this pipe which launches us into the sky, but there's an impossible jump over a chasm, so we head back down to Earth. We walk to the left more and find an entirely new section, the Funky Falls, which had these funny little frogs on pogo sticks, which I love, blocks that extended based on how many times you hit them, and of course, more water. Yay. This time, the underwater section is significantly harder, with spike balls to dodge, giant maces swinging, falling spikes from the rooftops. Hell, all we needed was a couple of used needles, and this would basically be any beach in New Jersey. I'm gonna... I should not have gone for that, but I did it. And you know what? We made it out alive. We get to the bottom of this section and hit a ghost ship, which is as exciting as it is worrying. And this section is the first time that we experience something that I like to call fan game difficulty. You see, when video games are designed by massive companies, every single aspect of them is thought out and tested to the very pixel. Obviously, in ROM hacks though, this can't really be done because they're created by much smaller teams with significantly less resources. In turn, a lot of fan games end up having rampant difficulty spikes out of nowhere, not just because it's intended to be harder, but also because some of these stages weren't able to be refined into a better experience. For example, the ghost on the bottom of this ship changed their spawn rates as you swim. Since the swimming in this game is a little finicky, it was very hard to go through this without taking damage. Plus, there's this ghost circle that's a little too close for comfort, and the list just goes on and on. We fight our first boss, which is two of my biggest fears combined: ghosts and water levels. The only thing worse than the fear of drowning is somebody who already did. I didn't even really think about that, and that is so terrifying. After a hard-fought battle, it was time for our next power-up. All right, we did it. We killed the boss on our first try. Please, do I get something cool here? Super shoes. These shoes will give you the power of super parkour abilities, allowing you to reach unattainable peaks. What does that mean? We can now stand on those weird peg thingies, run up walls if the triangle block is near them, and even run on water if we were sprinting at max speed. My only complaint here is that to stand on the knobs, you have to be holding towards them the entire time, which gets really finicky in the tighter portions later in the game. We head to the left after exiting the ship, and we find yet another classic banger mechanic from platforming games that we all love so much: ice physics. Yay! We peruse, slip, slide, and slip until I realized that there isn't really anywhere to go here. So we exit the lake area and head even more left this time because our ability to run on water allows us to jump up this cliff. This section is called the Timber Traverse, which is basically a section with more spikes than a season of Haikyuu. Honestly, this place beat the hell out of me. The gamer in me wanted to stick around and see if I could beat it, but the realist in me figured that I should go get stronger before trying to attempt this. Or at least become tankier, because this place was flambeing my cheeks. Now, in classic Metroidvania fashion, it was time to traverse all the way back to that peg area near Chomps Chasm. YouTube viewers are blessed with the power of editing, so you don't have to see the backtracking. Now, we've gone through a swimming section, an ice section, another swimming section, a ghost section, and a spike section. This is basically all of the food groups in the platforming hell diet. But you know what would be hilarious? If the next section added was a Bennett Foddy getting over it type level. I'm not kidding. We have to scale up a mountain with precise platforming that drops you all the way back down if you make a mistake. Was I not excited about this one? Roll the montage, please. Oh, man. Good. Oh, you can't turn around midair, please, dude. It's not like normal Mario where you could just insta-turn. In this game, it's like you have to be facing one way or you're screwed. I'm not bad at the game, gamers. It's the game being bad at me. Whee! Oh, you can't turn around. You see that? What is this? I can't do it. I'm gonna cry. This getting over it section though. I don't like it. I don't like this section. I hate this section with all the blood in my heart. My thumbs are gonna bleed by the end of this, by the way. Please, what is that? Please, dear God, this is just getting over it. Is that the funny joke? Is that they're doing getting over it just to like be funny? Okay. Is it gonna be Amadeus from Getting Over It? No, God damn it, what the f— I'm so good. Oh. All right, well, I'm getting better at this part, I say. Instantly failing and taking damage so that I can die? Yes, please kill me. These guys, I'm a beast. I'm different. You suck. Blow my ass.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Now, it may look like I'm kind of bad at this game, which is fair because there's some truth to that. But again, Mario's physics are so much different here. Like, his momentum and acceleration have been tuned so much that I almost felt like I was playing something new entirely. So every time you see me make a mistake, just know it's a lot harder than it looks.
That's what she said.
We finally get to the top of the mountain, and instead of being given a cool power-up for our troubles, it leads us to a giant castle. Yeah, that section was the beginning of the zone, and it wasn't even the hard part. We enter crispy chicken sandwich. We enter Crispy Crest Castle and slowly make our way through. And it was finally time for our next boss, which is full of, you guessed it, ROM hack difficulty. Who? Is that Zelda? What is this? What? And that tracks. That's awesome. That's awesome. That thing tracks, by the way. I don't know if you guys know. Like. Shoot it at me. Shoot it at me. Oh, I missed. There goes my only shot. And there goes another one. She shot 2 in a row this time. Oh, and then I let go of the button. That's just me being stupid. Oh, and I'm just inting. I'm inting. I gotta phase up, dude. Ice me.
What are you aiming at?
What was that? Where was she aiming? Beautiful. Got her. Is that it? Oh! With Secret of Mana Sprite defeated, we grab our next power-up in the form of a cape. Only in this game, the cape is just a double jump instead of being whatever the heck it was before. And I'm sure you know this, but having a double jump makes all of this way easier. We head back into the Getting Over It section, jump into this pipe, which is a shortcut back to the starting area. Then we head back to this impossible jump in the sky to see what the hell was on the other side. There's a very basic, somewhat laughable boss fight, especially compared to the nightmare that we just faced. Wow, is this a boss? Is this a boss fight? You suck. That was him. He said that. And after defeating Big Hunka Tunka Bunka Dunk, we finally get another health upgrade. I can't stress enough how important the health upgrades are in this game. There is so much nonsense thrown at you consistently, and being able to just tank some of it allows you room to breathe in the very difficult sections. Next, we head back to Timber Traverse and continue left with our newfound health and extra jump to avoid our spiny homeboys. Then we hit the Rocky Red Road, which is the desert area of this game. There's a couple of button switches that open gates and some quicksand that is very, very tedious to get through. They should call it slow sand. Am I right? There's even a gate across a quicksand pit, which I can't get through because, geez, it's so slow. We continue onward and hit this tower thing, which is our first possible only vertical section of the game. But besides that, this section is actually a lot of fun with the double jump. I almost wish it lasted longer, but I promised my live viewers that I was going to beat this entire game in one sitting, and at this point we've already been playing for 3.5 hours, so I knew I had to get a move on. We find another heart, which is a welcome addition, and then we reach the top and fight our next boss, a big hammer bro and his flame-spitting lil bros. After a quick fight with no deaths at all, LMAO, we unlock the fire flower, which shoots fireballs but also costs a coin every single time you use it. And now with our ability to melt ice, we can head back into the ice cave from before and hopefully find more roots. And spoiler alert, I hate ice physics. We slip and slide around like a devolved gorilla, and I'm just gonna be honest with you, champ. This section has the second worst boss in the game, which is further accentuated by, you guessed it, the worst boss in this game, who's also in this section, by the way. First off, we fight an ice bully. This one functions exactly like he does in Mario 64. You wanna bump him off the ice before he bumps you off the ice, but if you hit the lava, it's instant game over. And I honestly did everything I could to push him back, but I just couldn't and died a bunch of times, so I cheated and made him run into the lava by standing in the platform above. Anyways, bro melts and gives us a heart, which is always welcome, but also kind of a letdown. The next boss was a giant spiky turtle, but he chases you and bounces off the walls and then also shoots fireballs going at random speeds at you whenever he feels like it. It was really hard to figure out and felt a lot like RNG, but it also came with my favorite mechanic from any video game ever. You guessed it, a respawn point that was far away from the boss. So we have to walk back every single time. Okay, he died. We just lucked out there. We honestly just lucked out there. We didn't do anything correct. We didn't do anything different. Yep, and it's for health. And while we backtrack, I do want to say that on a community post, a user named Random Epic Cake said that their birthday was coming up. And I definitely know I uploaded this too late, but if you can in the comment section, please write happy birthday cake. I think that would be very wholesome and awesome. I rack my massive brain and remember that there's an ice wall on the right side of the castle area. So we sprint all the way back there to make some progress. We head into the next section, which I can just immediately tell by the vibe and ambiance. This is gonna be a doozy. It's full of saw blades, flame traps, precise jumps, and I'm honestly kinda stunned because even though I have 8 health, I actually struggle quite a bit to get through this. It's kind of a testament to the design of the game, because even though I have a double jump and super shoes at my disposal, it still only feels like the game is getting way harder. We get to another boss section and it's a sentient razor blade? This is some like Hellraiser level torture. After a few tries, we outsmart the metal sheet of death and finally unlock our spin jump, which will allow us to break the yellow bricks directly below us. This also means that we have to backtrack again to the opposite side of the map so we could enter that tower and break the yellow bricks that were in the beginning of that section. And once we do, we're led to this crystal area, which is the weirdest zone in the game. The journey to the boss here isn't eventful at all, but you want to know who the boss is? The Mask Koopa from Super Mario World. Hey, buddy, it's 2024. That is offensive. This is probably the easiest boss in the entire game by like a long shot. We clobber his ass for appropriating Mario culture and get the most insane power-up out of our entire run. A dash, which you can use to break blocks, hit enemies when it decides to work, generate momentum, or even as a third jump. If you're wondering where I got this 9th heart from, it was a whole little code cracking thing that's not really that interesting, so let's just say movie magic. And with our final power-up attained, it was time to look for our last section, which I can only assume is in the sky because the antagonists are aliens. We head back into the sky section and go to the left to do a jump that was previously impossible. Let me in! And would you look at that, now we're climbing a spaceship. This final section is very creative, and I want to give props to the mod maker for making something so unique and different. There's space sections where you're running out of oxygen while dealing with low gravity, ninjas everywhere for some reason, and honestly, it's just such a wonderful vibe. It's also one of the hardest platforming sections that I have ever played in my life. When I say that this section is tough, I mean it's tough. But we were at the very end of the game, so I knew that it was time to prove that I was the gamer I said I was. With the platforming section done, we can finally go face to face with our final boss. And I'm sure you, just like me, are very excited to see who it's gonna be. Maybe a Bowser, or Birdo, or Samus to keep up with the whole Metroidvania aesthetic and make it more literal. So we enter the door, ready to go face to face with this, whatever this is. Every time he lands on the ground, by the way, I'm sure you guys can tell I'm getting stunned every time he lands on the ground, which is why I'm trying to spend so much time in the air. Okay. There you go. He hurt himself. Okay, they're kind of landmine-esque. Woo! I beat him! Yes! Oh, is that it? Please tell me that's it. Oh my God, is that it? Oh, Mario, thank you for saving me once again. It can't have been easy to make it here. Now quick, let's get out of here. Said here twice in that. And after our hard-fought battle and enough salt to level the arteries of an entire American village, we beat the Mariovania and prove again that we are God gamers. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I've been having a lot of fun with the content on the channel recently, and I've been really enjoying these more like laxed videos where their gameplay spliced with narration, and I can't thank you guys enough for watching these because it means that we can upload more than once a month. Here's a playlist that I think you'll enjoy, and if you're somebody who needs background noise or just wants to see all of the madness front to back, here is the VOD of it. So you can watch that and it'll be the entire experience. Think about it as a let's play that is 6 hours and 30 minutes. Enjoy!